So hi guys. So I want to do a quick video on the differences between the AA and AI. So AA is analysis and approaches, and AI is applications and interpretations. So analysis and approaches courses provide a very classical approach to mathematics. So if you're really working on the problems into which focuses into word of the abstract theories and also you're keen on learning about the various types of proofs and methods, AA is the course for you. And however, if you're more you like math, but you just like to do more practical application part of it, then AI is better for you. Okay, so more AA is more like theory is proving. That's AA. And if you just like solving problems and exploring different problems and concept, then AI is the course for you. Okay, and also you can actually approach the concept in the number in terms of the learning hours. Okay, so HL has a 90 teaching hours, so you can see it here, right? So HL has the 19 hours, so as the AI, okay? But in we are just going to talk about the AA and AISL here, okay? So HL has a 90 teaching hours worth of the additional material for each specific course compared to the SL program, okay? So it's a good idea to ask yourself if there is such a thing as too much math for you or not, okay? So if you're kind of knows how to do math, but you just don't like to do too much of math, then HL is not a good fit for you. SL will be better, okay? And all of the SF program is part of the HL program, okay? So AASL is also part of the AAHL, okay? AISL is also part of the AIHL, just like group 4 subject, IB science classes, okay? So if you decide to pursue HL and then drop down to SL at a later date, it's not a problem, okay? But if you're trying to go from SL to HL in later year, that will be a problem. So think about that too, okay? And also if you're doing AA SL, okay, it's 60, okay? But for the AA SL, you have to do something called the SL core, okay? That's extra 60 hours, okay? No, actually, sorry. So SL hour for the AA is 60 and the AI SL hour is also 60, okay? So SL core, for both AA and AI are 60 hours, okay? So you also need to consider whether you want to use calculator or you don't want to use part where you can use calculator or you cannot use calculator for this classes, okay? So if AA approaches course involves a non-calculator paper, okay? So while AI interpretation requires extensive use of graphing calculator, so if you prefer using calculator, AI will be better fit for you. And if you're okay with the calculator, then AA will be also good for you too. Okay, so think about that before choosing your classes. Okay. So AI course, since because AI uses more calculator, it doesn't mean that AI is way easier, okay? So AI course heavily relies on graphic calculator. That means you're expected to work through the exam papers very quickly, okay? So when that happens, they're not going to expect you to do everything manually with your calculator. There's keystrokes that you have to learn to use the calculator with the AI course. Okay, so things like that is something to consider, right? And finally, when you're deciding between AA and AI need you to think about your university and you're like no aiming university or college. Okay, so a lot of different universities, especially if you're aiming to go back to European country, okay, the universities actually requires different IB maths scores, okay, like classes for their like prospective students. They want their prospective students to take specific math class in IB, okay? So you need to check, double check with your pathway managers before you decide whether you want to go AA or AI, okay? And also it is a good idea to look at the university subject specific course requirements before choosing the path, okay? And the last thing that I want to mention here is the how these math subjects break down, okay, in the concept of like numbers like in the math subjects. So you can see here, okay, we have also we offer math ASL, AISL, and HL here, right? So you have to look at, okay, your goal, okay? So like analysis stream is more like if you look at this like graph chart, you can see that some courses like they values calculus more than the other subjects, right? And if you look at like let's say like application Excel, they value statistics and probability more than the analysis class, okay? So analysis stream is considered more pure and abstract, okay? While the application option is more like applied math. So when studying analysis approaches, students will, like you guys will focus on honoring their mathematics skills, problem solving, and exploring real and abstract applications, okay? So this is like more suitable for students who wish to study mathematics at college or subject that requires like deep knowledge of math. It means if you're aiming to go into like engineering or the mathematics, or if you're aiming to go to like medical school or like any science related major, if you're trying to do any science related major, okay, then the this will be the like, so analysis will be so analysis and approaches will be a better fit for you, okay? That's it.